dum 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 dum.
Welcome back to the dumbest bill in America. This is Mark Fisher, and I have with me Delegate Brian Chisholm.
Always good to be here.
This dumbest bill in America is called Catch Me If You Can, just like the movie, Brian, Catch Me If You Can. Get this, from Fox News and The Hill, all of the major broadcasters in the United States, Governor Wes Moore and other Democrat leaders have fallen silent, Brian, after it was discovered that an illegal alien, Ian Andre Roberts, who was recently arrested by ICE, is registered as an active voter in Maryland. But he was just arrested in Des Moines, Iowa, Brian. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because he was the superintendent of public schools in Des Moines, Iowa, while still holding a Maryland driver's license, Brian, and having a Democrat registration, voter registration ID, I guess, if you will, in the state of Maryland. And the question is, he's illegally present and he was just arrested by ICE. I want to hear what you have to say.
And let's keep in mind, Des Moines, Iowa, that's the largest county in Iowa, I believe. It is a huge county. It's not like some podunk little farm town where they're like, oh, we really need somebody. Let's take this guy. This reminds me, you and I have talked about this before when we talk about resume builders. This guy had everything on his resume, right? Everything except for here illegally. If he would have started with that, maybe they would have paid attention. I don't know. But if it just said illegal first, then maybe we would have paid more attention. But he had so much stuff on there, maybe they got confused.
Do you think maybe they just ask one simple question in Des Moines, Iowa? Like, sir, are you an American citizen? Or, sir, where did you go to college? And then maybe verify that he actually has degrees from those colleges, which it's still questionable whether he has any degrees. Or, sir, have you ever been arrested before? Because he was arrested before, and he was on ICE's list to be deported. But he was the superintendent of schools, that's right. Brian.
And not deported by Donald Trump, by the way. He was on Joe Biden's deportation list, which was impossible to do. This guy found his way on there somehow, but the school system didn't figure out. I mean, people leave clues. This guy left a few clues, like the resume being, he had like 15 different degrees. He had $3,000 cash in his pocket. He had a big knife, and he had a Glock.
When he was arrested, he had all those things on his possession.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you're in a superintendent of Des Moines public schools, as a superintendent, you need a gun, you need a big knife, and you need a getaway car. I mean, it's like Catch Me If You Can, which is why we're calling this podcast that, Brian, just because it's just like the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he just basically the entire movie pretends to be somebody he's not.
Yeah. And by the way, his name, Ian Roberts, I'm like, it sounds like a little short Jewish sports kind of caster on the sidelines or something. I'm like, this guy doesn't even...
He's from Guyana.
Yeah. Guyana. I don't know any Ian Roberts in Guyana, Africa, but yeah. I think he might even change his name. But the most importantly, Mark, is the fact this guy's registered to vote here in the state of Maryland.
So then we asked Governor Wes Moore, and we also asked Jared Damarinis, I believe is his name, from the State Board of Elections. We asked them, has this guy actually voted? We know he's registered to vote, Brian, but has he voted? And everybody's going, hey, nothing to see here whatsoever. I mean, it was just probably an accident. We don't know how that happened. How did it happen?
Yeah, they put up a technicality, and they said what happened was when he went to the MVA, evidently you don't have to show citizenship there either. I don't know. He got a driver's license, right?
Oh, you mean the MVA, the Motor Vehicles Administration. Okay.
So he goes to the MVA, and voila, he became a Democrat, registered to vote. He didn't know, evidently. That's what they're trying to tell us now. He accidentally became a Democrat. I think that's how most people become Democrats, accidentally, but that's how he became a Democrat.
I mean, I'm just curious. You move to the United States, you come here illegally, and then you automatically can get a driver's license? I mean, do you even have to take a test? And then when you get the driver's license, you're here illegally, you have voter ID, but you don't actually use your voter ID to vote in Maryland because, after all, then they would never be able to vote. And then they say, well, you're on the motor voter law because you're automatically registered to vote.
That's right. And somebody made a good point that a lot of these people that come here illegally come from authoritarian governments where they're told, don't question a government. So my guess is, from what I understand, and we have a lot of anecdotal stories, people are showing up at the Department of Motor Vehicles, or MVA, and they're saying, you're a Democrat. You want to register to vote, right? And they're saying, see, yes, see. And that's how we're ending up with so many of these people. They're told not to, to argue. This person's telling me I'm a Democrat. I don't care. Just give me the license. I don't know.
Do you think Wes Moore, Brian, and the Democrats will ever respond to this systemic problem in Maryland where we have illegals who are registered to vote? And no doubt they're voting. We haven't been able to verify, to be fair, that this guy has voted, but he's registered to do it.
This is one of those, well, it's really not happening, but we're glad that it is. That's really what this one is, because we get a lot of that in Maryland, right? So Jared DeMarinis will tell you that it's almost impossible to take these people off, but he's also in the process right now of, he's in a quarrel with the federal government who says, we want to see your voter rolls. And Jared's saying, no, because ICE might use this. I'm like, ICE? Well, ICE only goes after illegals. Why would an illegal be on our voter list?
So Brian just brought up an amazing point that's really important to talk about on this podcast. Again, Jared DeMarinis is the head of the State Board of Elections of the state of Maryland. So he's in charge. This guy's in charge of implementing the law as it is passed in Annapolis by, the Democrat majority. And basically, as Brian just said, the federal government's saying, we want to vet your voter registration lists with ICE to see who is in Maryland illegally and if they're even registered to vote. Because by definition, if they're here illegally, they should be deported. If they're registered to vote and they're here illegally, they've just broken the law even more.
That's right.
And they're going to undermine the entire democratic process that we have in the state. And Jared DeMarinis, the State Board of Elections guy, Brian, said, no, we're not going to let you do that. We like the fact that, what is he saying?
And if you think about it, all the states make their own voting laws, but there are some federal laws that supersede. And when you're looking at this case, that's what the federal government wants to do is, are you actually disenfranchising voters by letting illegals vote in your elections,
so
which
what
is illegal?
But why is Jared DeMarinis not sharing this information? Because wouldn't he want to know who's registered illegally in Maryland as an illegal alien?
I think you would want to prove your innocence. We're not doing this here, but that's not what they're doing. They're stonewalling and saying, no, you can't look at our list because we didn't steal the cookies, but there might be some cookie thieves in here. That's what I'm getting at. I think they're afraid to turn over the list.
You have to admit, though, the most absurd part of this isn't just the registration. It's the fact that he ran an entire school district as superintendent.
He ran 3 school districts. It's not just once, not just twice. This is his 3rd one. He is moving up. If it was the Biden administration, this guy should be the Secretary of Education.
You can't make it up. And that's the dumbest bill in America. Catch me if you can. See you next time.